Hello, in this episode we're going to make our first widget, and that's going to be a progress bar, and that's going to indicate when a player's turn is going to start. So this is probably going to take a couple episodes, but if you can picture in a turn-based battle game, there's a bar that gets filled up from left to right, and what I want to do is make that connected to a data table that includes the player's level and speed variable. So as a player levels up, then that progress bar should fill up quicker, and then it'll be that player's turn. So what I want to do is start with a widget, and we haven't covered what a widget is yet. So what is a widget? I want to just read that through because it explains it better than I can. In UE5, a widget is a visual interactive user interface element created as a widget blueprint used for things like heads-up displays or HUDs, meaning health bars or score, or menus, and interactive 3D elements in the world, allowing designers to build complex dynamic UIs with text and buttons and images and animations without writing complex code to game logic via blueprints. So key aspects is quite a lot. We can do a lot. So I'm going to dive in. Let's see. Let's go to our content browser, and then we're going to create a new folder here called UI. So right click the content folder, click UI, and then what should we name this one? Maybe Battle UI. I need a folder, a subfolder. Yeah, I'm going to create a subfolder, Battle UI. We're going to open it up. I'm making a subfolder because we're going to have other folders for UI and explore mode, kind of like item shops, maybe like a mini map, things like that. But this right now is going to be a subfolder of Battle UI, and we might update it even further. So I'm going to right click and type in widget, and we're going to select widget blueprint, and it's going to be a user widget. I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's click on user widget. That's kind of like the standard. I think rarely I've seen other ones be used, but let's name this WBP, I think is the naming convention, widget blueprint underscore, I don't know, action bar, action time bar. I think that's what it is, ATB. Then we're going to open this up. Drag this to the tab. And then we're going to add I want to look at something. There's a canvas panel. If you hover, is a designer-friendly panel that allows widgets to be laid out at arbitrary locations and Z-ordered with other children of the canvas. Okay. Canvas is a great widget for manual layout, but bad when you want to procedurally just generate widgets and place them in a container. So it's bad if you want to procedurally just, that's funny. Where did my help text go? Come on. It's bad if you want to procedurally just generate widgets and place them in a container. So I don't want to do that for this. I'm thinking what that means is maybe when we do our UI for like the items, because then it's in a container, and then you click on the items and it opens up a new widget. And then I wonder, because what I was trying to figure out if I use a canvas or an overlay, allows widgets to be stacked on top of each other, uses simple flow for the layout for content on each layer. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking that means we'll be using overlay for other cases, but for this case, we want canvas panel because we really just want control of where the action time bar is going to be. So we left click and drag it over. Got our canvas panel. You can move around here with the right mouse arrow. And then what we want to do is add a progress bar to the canvas panel. So I've got it here. If I click into the progress bar, You see this big flower indicator thing? This is called an anchor. This is where it gets positioned on the screen, and it's positioned there um, no matter what kind of device you're using. So if you're using a laptop with a certain monitor size, or a desktop with a certain monitor size, or your phone, what this means here is that it's anchored to the same position. So if it's not anchored, um, it would not be consistent across other devices. At least that's probably the short, simple description. So where do I want this action time bar? I guess in the long run, I want it towards the bottom right. So I'm going to click bottom right, and then you'll see the position relative to the anchor is changed here. I'll edit, undo, Control Z, and then I'm going to, so you see those numbers update, Control Y to redo. And then I'm going to click this left pointing arrow. This is always really handy to reset its location. And then I'm going to reposition. So if I go 50, it goes the opposite way. So I want to go minus 50. Let's do minus 100. How about minus 200? That's fine. And then position Y, 200. How about minus 200? Okay. But the size, I want it to be quite a bit bigger, maybe like 300. Then we have to reposition. Let's go minus 400. Sure. Let's play with that. So we have this progress bar now, and I want to compile. And here is some visuals of what that might look like. So right now it's at 0%. It's empty, but if I scroll on over, the closer I get to 1, it gets full. So the reason I want to connect this to data tables is because I want each time a character levels up, that its speed value assigned to it in that same row. When the character levels up, so should that speed variable. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but it makes sense to me, and it makes sense that I can edit it quickly in CSV or spreadsheets or anything like that as I test. So the bar type, the other options here is left to right. We can go right to left. That's probably like, yeah, looking like that. I'm just going to keep it left to right. Bar fill style, mask or scale. I'm not sure what that means. What does that mean? Mask or scale. I'll just keep it at the default. Is marquee. I forget what that means. Okay, it makes it like a nice visual. What happens if I go to 1? Nothing. So I'm not going to mess with that. Undo, undo. And border padding is kind of cool. So if I do 1 or 1, what I thought that means is, well, 100. 100. Well, just 50. 50. Okay. Well, I guess that just means like it pushes off from padding, like from the ends. What I thought it did is it gives it a nice like border. But anyway, let's put this to full or 0 actually, and then I think this is this bind? Is that what this is? There's no help text. Come on. Okay. What we're going to do is create a binding, which means it creates a function on the widget blueprint that we've created that will return binding data for this property. So we want to bind this percent to some sort of variable that gets attached to the widget blueprint side, which is going to be, right now we're in the designer window, but we're going to be adding our logic here for this WBP action time bar to the designer. Back in the designer tab, I just realized, let's name this, right click, rename, or actually let's just do it up here on the top right, same thing. I'm gonna name this action time bar. And is variable. If you find that when you're in the blueprint graph and the variables are not filling, it's most likely because your component does. I don't know if these are components. I'm guessing they are. Yeah. I don't know what these are. Your palette or whatever does not have this variable checked. So we're going to compile it. We've got our action time bar. And so far we've only done, in our data tables, we've done data tables for items. I forget what episode, maybe episode 2 we did that. So right now I'm going to go through this a little bit faster. So you can check one of the prior episodes where we made our first data table. So right now I'm going to make a new folder for DT. Let's do player stats, and even more so, battle player stats. Because I'm not sure if I want to have different player stats for explore mode. It just depends what ideas we have. So I'm going to open this, and the first thing you need to make a data table work, as a reminder, is a struct, which is short for structure. So we'll go S, and this is going to be battle player stats. Open this up. Let's do player level, which is going to be an integer because these players do not have integers or whole numbers. Speed, I'll make a whole number as well. But because the progress bar is a percentage, we might have to just make this a float. And I think that's going to be fine anyway. So floats include numbers between whole numbers. So 0.50, 0.56, 0.79. Anything else for now? Let's just do HP while we're here. And then action time bar. It's just going to be speed. Speed and health. Yeah. Maybe we can use the same battle player stats, because HP is going to be its own separate progress bar. We'll see. Okay, we'll keep it super simple like that for now. HP, I think, it's also going to be an integer though. Okay, so we'll save. Now we have a struct, which lays the columns or the rows for our data table. So we're going to right click data table, data table. So now we get to pick our struct, battle player stats. Okay, now DT battle player stats. Open this up. All right, I want to add a row. Player level is going to be 1. Speed is going to be 10. HP, just keep it the same just for easy reference. We'll add a couple more simple testers. Let's say our player level is 25. Speed will be 25. I think I'm going to make it like that. Let's go back to player level 1. Speed is going to be 1. Now we'll do speed 10. And then player level 50. Let's do 50, 50. Player level 75 is going to be 75, 75. And the fastest possible. Actually, it might be 99 instead of 100. Because 100, I'm wondering if it's going to like make it look. We'll see. We'll make it 99. Player level 100, speed 99, HP 99. Okay, so we've got some basic inputs. So what I want to do, now that we have some visuals, is have the progress bar, the speed in which it fills up, dependent on the speed variable that this will be assigned to for a character. Let's see. Let's open up our character blueprint next. Characters, mannequins, no, third person. Any day now, we're gonna just create our custom character, because the more we feed code into this, the more headaches I'm gonna run into later. So right now I'm gonna highlight all of this stuff that we worked on in a different episode when we were working on blueprint interfaces. I'm gonna highlight, comment, and I'm gonna say this is talk to enemies, or yeah, I mean, this what, not talk to, but this is like approaching enemies or something. Enemies nearby. How about that? So that what that does is it adds a few things. This is called adding a comment, and what that does is it kind of captures, it groups all of the blueprints together, gives it a little header. What I always do is click on this show bubble when zoomed, and then I make the color something custom to, like something bright. I want it really bright and obvious. Like, why is it so dense? I don't know. Like, here, I want it something like this. And the reason is I want to quickly be able to tell. Yeah, I want to quickly, just by scanning this as we get further along the series, like what is code that is custom by me. So it's not going to be in everything, because, for instance, like this widget blueprint, I'm not going to color everything blue. It's just going to be things that are already default out of the engine, or things that I bring in from third parties, like marketplace or fab assets. I usually do this so I can quickly say, like, okay, I'm making edits somewhere, just by skimming it. Same thing with this, actually. So when the character jumps here, what was I doing? I was printing a string of the struct. Okay. Oh, that's right. I was doing like heal 20 units, etc. And then I think from over here in the comment color, I can kind of like save as a preview or something. How do I do that again? Save color themes, new theme. Okay, sure. Is that gonna save it? Can I do that now? Whatever. I'm not gonna get lost in all that right now. This is right. Okay, sure. Sorry, that was a little sidetracked. So la 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 la. Whatever. That got me so distracted. Time bar. Okay. What I want to do is bind. I think what I need to do is get the data table struct and then set it to be bind by the or get the row, probably get the row name. I probably want the row name. set the speed. Get the player level and set the speed. And then that's what I want binded to the widget blueprint. But where do I do that? I think it's got to be in the character. So got battle item details here. Did I end up using this? Nope. Okay. So there was a variable there I did not end up using and I just deleted it. So what I want is another data table row handle. And this one I want to be battle player stats. And I might be going totally off the rails in the wrong direction, but let's give it a shot. So data table row handle. Is this gonna go? Is this blueprint gonna go in the player character or the actual widget? Let me think. I think because each player is going to have its own time bar, the logic should go in the character blueprint. So I'm going to make this instance editable. Compile. Got a default value available. Okay, wait, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to make the default value for this battle player stats. Is there a row name? Row name, new row. Okay. I think I'm going to kind of follow some of the same logic here. So let's get, oh, that's interesting. If I do that, that's, oh, so it's dark blue. So you right click, split the struct. Let's do get data table row. Okay. The row name, then what? Then we want to break it. Nope. Break battle player stats. Okay. This is cool. We're just following some of the same logic that we did earlier. Now I've got access to the player's speeds and level. Okay. I think from here I'm gonna go to oh wait, no, not set, but go to variable, then it's setting a speed. And then let's see. Okay, go here. I'm not entirely sure what to do from here, but what I want to do is go on over and add to the over here. So I need back up here. Do I have an event begin play? Let's just keep it all here for now. Event begin play widget. I think no, not add to viewport. Create widget. This is going to be action time bar. Add to viewport. Oh, sorry, I'm moving kind of quick. So from event begin play, this is if you see it's red, it's an event. And this is something that one that becomes you'll become very familiar with. It's common everywhere, which means when the play button is hit, there's something that's going to follow with code. And that is we're going to create a widget. Select which widget. And from there, you add it to the viewport. It's not always going to be on event begin play unless, for instance, each time the battle starts, we move it. We trigger logic so that it gets moved to a different level and then it plays. But for our testing purposes right now, we're just pushing, we're just getting this out there and doing some testing. So let's click play. So you see in the bottom right there, I've got something. That works as we had hoped. Now back to this logic. So I've got this hooked up, and then I just have to think about this. So we have to bind. We have to bind this to something. I just don't know what. It's got to be that speed. But when we set it, it just makes it seem so like variable-ish. Like I wanted to match these. I have to do some testing. Let's see. So we set the speed, but I mean, I don't want this to be any number. I want it to be the pre-assigned numbers. Shit, zero default value. Let's see. So what I want is to get the row name, the value of the player level, like what level is the character, and then I want that speed. So I don't know if set speed, I don't think this is the right way. What if I do this? So we set the player level, which is based on, I mean, all right, guys, I ran into some issues. So I'm using ChatGPT to help me out a little. Just kind of describing what we're trying to do. So it says to go opposite way, which I don't think really matters. So we're gonna, at the begin play, get that data table row, break it. I think it says to start with the speed. Yeah, we're just gonna give it a shot, see if how this works. So set the speed. Back to where we were. So I was on the right track originally, but then I got lost. And then after we set the speed, then we're supposed to do this. But I mean, so far that's not going to do much different. Well, I mean, at least let's just see if it plays at least. Add to be, oh, okay. Just make sure it still even displays. Yep, it's still there on the bottom right, so that's good. Okay. But now the same issue. I'm trying to figure out how we can pull the data from the data table and then bind the widget to it. Let's see. All right, guys, these instructions are getting a little deep divey, but I think it makes sense. So we're going to go ahead with it. So what we need is a new variable called player level. How about that? Got it here, sure. With a type integer, but we need to set a default value to, let's say, 25. Because this is now the character's actual level. And then same thing, we need to get the data table going. So we should rename our data table rows. Let's see. Let's name this. ChatGPT did not like my lazy naming conventions. I've gone down this rabbit hole before on other stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. Okay, so now I'm making more sense of this. And you know what? I think we've done quite a bit and I have not saved. It's crashed on us before already, so file, save all. Okay. Then next step, ChatGPT says, then in your character, convert player level to row name. Okay. So we want this. Convert the player character to row name. So am I doing a get? I mean, to string. To name? What in the hell is this thing talking about? All right, let's try convert string to name. And then plug that in here. All right, so apparently this is gonna give me what I want, but I'm not so sure. So we can head over to the widget blueprint, head over to the graph. We're gonna add another variable for speed. It's gonna be a float. It's going to be instance editable and expose on spawn. I'm probably going to do that for both of these. Maybe not. Oh, because, okay, never mind. So just the speed on create time bar widget. Then over here, plug your speed variable into the speeds widget. Oh, that's interesting. It should have updated, right? Oh, I had to click compile. Now this is here. Compile again. Push play, see if anything. Oh my god, it's gonna crash. Nope, okay. Let's file save all. Okay, so there's no filling quite yet. All right, then we've got one more step, but it's not making sense to me. I don't have much faith, but such is game development. We need in our action time bar widget to create a couple more variables. We'll name it current ATB float with the default 0. compile, and one more. Fill scale. Float. Instance editable, expose on spawn. Compile. The default of 0.1. Says I've already passed the speed through expose on spawn. So keep that. Okay. So here off of event tick. All right, I just added one more bit of logic. And that was I added an isReady Boolean. So I added a variable, and if it is not ready, then to proceed with the math that ChatGPT helped me out with. And then we set isReady once it reaches one or greater. So what happens if I change this to 2 real quick? Let's see if that makes it any slower. Oh, okay. So 1. Okay, so let me walk through this. So in the widget time bar, under event tick, first it checks if the turn is ready. If the turn is not ready, then it fires off this math. I mean, I'm not going to ever be able to explain the math behind these, so I need help. So ask ChatGPT, or maybe if you're at least decent at math, you can fully understand this. But then it sets the current ATB. And then we get the time bar widget component or widget variable. We set the %, and if the current time bar is greater than or equal to 1, then we set that isReady Boolean. And the reason I did this is because I noticed that each tick it was going quite a bit. Like it was continuously firing a print string. So now when we push play, we see the time bar go. We only see 1 hello. And I'm gonna update this. Where's the time bar? Action time bar. And I'm adding a note to myself. This is great, but we need to restart the time bar after the turn is taken. So what I want to check against this is that the player level, once we update the player level to 25, it's gonna go faster. Whoop, very fast. We probably won't even be able to tell with 50. Yeah, so fast. So we're gonna have to just kind of make that slower, but I'm not quite worried about that. So I'm gonna add a comment that this is the add ATB to or ATB UI. Okay. And this is ATB speed logic, I guess I'll name it. Okay, so I've done quite a bit. It's going to be it for this one. What I want to do next, I'll think about it, but I don't like that the player level logic is accessible like only here. I guess we're going to have to think about how to map the player level, which increases based on experience gained. But I don't want to go too far down that path because that's a whole different can of worms. we'll figure out what I'll think about what to do next. But what I'm really happy about is that we actually met our objective. We ran into struggles again, but in summary, we have connected our data table logic, connected it to the time bar, and it's connected to our third person character. So what I think I want to do next is start adding some more blueprint interfaces to signal whose turn it is. Because between player character units and enemy character units, everyone is going to have to signal whose turn it is. So maybe we'll do that next, or we'll take one more deep dive into the setting this up a little bit better. But I'm afraid in order to set it up better, we're going to need more content to work with. So we'll see what happens. Thanks, everybody. Bye.